of these sort of, and as I mentioned, of course, playing pandemic, any of these sort of emergencies would fit the bill. Right now, climate change is the main argument they're using, but we should absolutely understand that once the World Health Organization treaty is in place, once the Summit of the Future and Pact of the Future is signed, at that point, it's up to these governments to say, hey, here's an emergency, that could be an economic emergency, many people are worried about, financial system, that could help us bring in GDP. And that's another part of this. In one of their own documents about the Summit of the Future titled What We Deliver, they say
got a little too crazy with it. I lost one.
For all people. So they're definitely talking about remaking the financial system along with all of the governance models. So we're talking about a complete remaking of the world as we know it. And as I was doing more research, even beyond my articles, it looks like after the Summit of the Future in September, if they do sign this Pact for the Future, that some of these organizations are trying to use United Nations Article 109, which is basically, it can be implemented. It's very rare, and this is why it would be a big deal, but this would be implemented to actually change the UN Charter, which is essentially the United Nations Constitution. And they're talking about by 2025, 2026, being able to actually rewrite the entire Charter of the United Nations to give themselves.
These documents reveal the scope of the NSA's massive surveillance program.
We cannot prevent terrorist attacks or cyber threats without some capability to penetrate digital communications.
Others, a massive unit called Tailored Access Operations.
I don't need mass surveillance. I need you to break into that guy's computer.
Their mission is to get the ungettable.
If you want to hack into systems lawfully, the only game in town is the government.
The targets are secrets.
They are very important at actually tracking down people who are then subsequently killed.
And there's almost nothing they can't hack. The National Security Agency is one of the world's largest intelligence agencies. Headquartered in Fort Meade, Maryland, the NSA's mandate is to collect foreign intelligence. After 9/11, George W. Bush authorized the NSA to collect even more, including American communications to and from foreign targets.
Good morning. This is a highly classified program that is crucial to our national security.
This program shocked an NSA senior executive named Thomas Drake. Drake is a decorated veteran who blew the whistle on NSA's activities to the press. He barely escaped 35 years in jail after being charged under the Espionage Act, a law first written in 1917.
Drake? The National Security Agency is focused on foreign intelligence. It was formed in 1952. People don't realize it was not formed by an act of Congress. It was literally signed into existence by the stroke of a secret presidential pen. In fact, the joke was, it was no such agency or never say anything. You never even referenced the actual name. People who used to work there, I work at DOD. Now I accelerate forward. Internet explodes. You have this rapid transition from analog to digital, and the explosion of data became exponential. What do you think is the easiest way to deal with it? Just suck it all.
So what happened after 9/11? Was it NSA should do better?
Here's where you have culture and secret meeting itself, realizing it failed, but can't admit it failed. They had not prevented the next Pearl Harbor. And now NSA is literally unleashed. It's unleashed on an extraordinary scale, a scale we have never seen in U.S. history or the world. All means necessary to confront the threat. Who cares about the Constitution? Who cares about law? Who cares about the rights of U.S. persons? Hey, if you've done nothing wrong, I even heard this, then it should matter. And the mantra was, just get the data. Collect it all so we can know it all. Collect it all so we can know it all.
Drake inspired another NSA worker to sound the alarm.
This afternoon, the Guardian newspaper revealed the name of their source.
In 2013, Edward Snowden leaked tens of thousands of classified NSA documents. The first to get published was a secret court order forcing Verizon to fork over the call data of millions of U.S. customers. The next big leak was a PowerPoint presentation about a program called PRISM. The NSA boasted that PRISM gave them direct access to emails, video chats, and more from some of America's biggest tech companies. The media was obsessed with Snowden and the leaks, but few people noticed information hidden in the documents about a top-secret NSA unit called TAO, or Tailored Access Operations, until the German magazine Der Spiegel revealed more about it than ever before. Jörg Schindler is the magazine's award-winning national security reporter.
Yeah, you can call them the highly skilled plumbers of the NSA who are able to get into every sort of pipe. What they are doing is getting the ungettable.
They're like the special forces of the NSA, essentially.
Yeah, special hacker force. I mean, the whole NSA is a special force, but those are the highly skilled handymen who create certain kind of tools to infiltrate, manipulate, and sabotage every kind of digital device you might think of.
What's the relationship between tailored access operations by the NSA and their mass surveillance?
I need to explain it easily. I would say that mass surveillance is like going into the ocean with a huge fishing net and to draw everything out with whatever you find. And what the tailored access operation units are doing is like using the harpoon to find special targets and the fishes they really need. So that might be the difference. So that it's like going hand in hand.
And TA is pretty good.
They're extremely good at it, yes.
The Snowden leaks revealed more about tailored access operations, but a lot is still unknown. I wanted to talk to someone who knows the NSA from the inside. An Air Force veteran and former NSA exec named John Harbaugh.
Oh, John Harbaugh.
Nice to meet you, John.
Please come in.
Place. Route 9B.
Yeah.
Why that name, by the way?
So root is system level access.
You want to be gentle. You don't want to tear it all the potatoes all
So it's
to
a nod
pieces.
to the fact that
They shouldn't
next,
be that. I mean, if
9/11
they're that bad, you ever cooked it, but it should be real close. It should be on the verge of being where they're gonna tear down on you if you mess with this too much.
This is where we do all of our hunt operations, what we call it, for our clients. So what this is showing you is what the operator sees while they're doing their op, right? So there'll be windows of time where they're actually active inside the client's network, pursuing the adversary. And this is really driven by our experiences in the government.
Does it look like this since Fort Meade?
This is better.
In your bio, it says something like you were the director of a super elite cyber operation unit.
Yeah, so basically what that's about is what we tried to recreate here. So my time inside the organization, I had the pleasure and the fortunate to be asked to run a team of about 8 individuals. And that team was focused on the most challenging problems in cyber.
What is that tailored access operations?
So you know, there is elements of that space, right? Because if you're in cyber and you do all of cyber, then you're doing all of those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bosses could come in and say, we have a significant national event. I need you guys to be able to do this in the next 12 hours. I could walk into that space and say, hey guys, I need 5 minutes. I would give them what we call the op order. I mean, this is what we need to achieve. We need to achieve it in the next 12, 24, 48 hours. And I could walk away. And I knew when I came back, no matter what time of day, how long they were working on it, they would get it done. And it was that kind of, again, it was that kind of teamwork that really drew people. And it's a very similar thing to the special ops.
And it does sound like a military chain of command.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very military organization.
To build a team like TAO, the NSA has to hire highly skilled hackers. So how does it headhunt them? To find out, I asked Chris Savoy. He's a privacy activist with the American Civil Liberties Union. Who are they? Where's the NSA recruiting them from?
The government wants people who can get a security clearance, more so than ever. Particularly, after Snowden and after Chelsea Manning, they want people who they know are going to play by the rules. They want people who cannot easily be blackmailed. So I think, NSA tries to recruit the best and brightest from computer science programs around the country, and in particular, computer security programs like Carnegie Mellon that have probably the most sophisticated offensive cybersecurity programs in academia in the United States, and their students are heavily recruited both by NSA, but also, by Silicon Valley.
They're competing for the same people.
They're competing for the same people, and the problem that NSA has is they can't pay the same kind of money. Right? They're not going to be able to offer the smoothies and massages and sort of perks of life that Google and Facebook can, but they have something that those companies don't. What they have is a monopoly on violence. Right? In the same way that if you want to like rappel out of helicopters and shoot people in the head, you go join the special forces. If you want to hack into systems lawfully, the only game in town is the government. In many other walks of life, you would be a criminal, you would be a stalker, you'd be a bad person. But when you go to NSA, suddenly you get to wrap yourself in the flag and do it for king and country.
If TAO can legally do things no one else can, who are they hacking and why? Not much is known about who tailored access operations hacks. The Snowden leaks revealed one major target, Osama bin Laden. TAO hacked into the mobile phones of Al-Qaeda operatives in the hunt for bin Laden, as reported by the Washington Post. The unit's work also led to capture 40 insurgents in Afghanistan. Ryan Gallagher is an investigative reporter at The Intercept, where he has covered the role of surveillance in the ongoing war on terror. How did TAO and how does TAO fit into the war on terror?
Well, they're very important. I mean, people don't necessarily think of surveillance even as a thing being integral to what the military is doing on the ground, but it is. It's absolutely vital. What the tailored access guys are doing, for instance, is because they're so skilled at actually, breaking into systems and going after like what they would refer to as hard targets, people who are elusive or skilled at like dodging surveillance. They are very important at actually tracking down people who are then subsequently killed or captured. In past years, probably rendered through the Black Sites program that was going on through the Bush administration. So.
Alright, let's do a taste test on this. I did not try this yet. It's really good looking though. I could see having like some pork chops with that and a couple other sides. Something. I could also see adding more of these onions. Man, the flavor was amazing for this. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty happy. Alright, so potatoes done. There's almost a creaminess to the potatoes, even though they're not mashed, obviously. I think it's that oil. It's like it instantly kind of dissolves in your mouth. It's really good. Flavor of that onions comes through really strong, but not in the onion way. It's just very sweet. It's transformed to a very sweet flavor now. Very robust. Let's see. What else? I added a little bit of seasoning. Obviously, I added some seasoning to give it that good color. I don't know if you caught that. Roasted garlic and herb. So a lot of these herbs are what's coming through. Let's see if we can see anything that's on here. I don't know if they tell you. It shows paprika, citric, dillweed, onion. So those are basically the flavors: onions, dillweed, stuff like that. That paprika. So I'm cooking these eggs. I'm actually going to add these eggs to my potato salad, and then it's going to be done. I never used to like it when I was younger, but it actually kind of gives it a good flavor. All right, so let's try it with one of these onions. Those onions add a whole nother level of flavor. Very savory. So I highly recommend that. This is a great side dish. Not really cooked it like this before, I don't think, or it's been a while. So I usually would mash these, like make really good mashed potatoes. You can still do that if that's what you want. But those are two easy dishes with potatoes, and I have potatoes just sitting over here, just like this. Came in a big old bag, and these are just sitting here. I just peeled them, diced them, boiled them for the potato salad, and sauteed them for the, whatever you call this, potato casserole. I could put some broccoli in there with these potatoes. That would have been awesome. Cheese, broccoli, potatoes, and chicken. How about that? Wow. Yeah, that's a great idea. Now that I know how good this turns out, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll be looking forward to a video about that. Alright, well this video is getting really long. What I'm going to do is basically I have these eggs over here. Screw it, I'll keep going. I don't care. I'll just fast forward this part. I accidentally cracked one of my eggs. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. It doesn't take eggs long to boil. I have it on not high heat, but pretty close to it. Let's go ahead and turn it on high and see what happens. Do you think the egg is going to come out of the shell, or do you think it's going to stay in there? I guess we'll see. I think a little bit will probably come out once it pressurizes. You can see the bubbles being released from the egg. Is that the egg or on the side? Just coming up around the egg. It's hard to tell. No, I can see it's actually coming from inside the shell, so it is penetrating a little bit, but you don't want a huge hairline crack like that where it will just come open. Hopefully it won't make a difference, and let's let this boil.